Humans aged in their 20s and 30s could now end up living long enough to live forever, according to our next guest.
I think we're already cyborgs because, you know, when you go to a party and someone asks you something that you don't know of, the first thing you do is look up your phone and Google it, right?
Right.
So as an input mechanism, our fingers as the communication limitation on the speed.
Yeah.
But being able to access all that information, having a supercomputer in your pockets these days, is one concept of cyborgism.
The best humans have not been produced yet. The smartest humans or the longest lived humans, the more we know about the coding, the more we can optimize and move toward the direction that we want to move in. If you want to produce smart humans or nice humans, honorable humans, caring humans, whatever it is, those are traits that are related to certain presence or absence of certain genes, and we'll have much finer control over the types of people that are born in the future through this. But it's an essentially mathematical description of there's a trait that you're interested in, you want to push it in one direction or the other. Which switches do you turn on and off in order to do that? We do it with cows. We have super cows and super chickens. We have animals that mature several times faster than the wild versions. So we've pushed those animals in directions we want to push them, but we haven't really pushed ourselves.
We already live in a cybernetic society. Installing computers in our brains is not far off, he says. He made the comments this week at South by Southwest. He calls it technological singularity, when humans gain super intelligence with the help of technology. He says the evolution will make us funnier, sexier, smarter. Here's why we may want to take his word for it. The guy has a history of making correct predictions. Out of the 147 predictions he's made since the 1990s, 86% have been correct. At least you wouldn't lose it. Pretty good odds. You know what I mean?
Ray Kurzweil needs no introduction. He's one of the world's leading inventors, authors, and futurists.
This is somebody who really is not just an author and an inventor, but somebody who thinks about the future in ways that I can't even possibly comprehend.
Ray has been described as the ultimate thinking machine and the rightful heir to Thomas Edison, no less.
We have initiated to sequence 5,000 twins. We are going to sequence 1 million Chinese in order to know more about their genomes. I don't know how many years it would take, and then we expect that the gene will tell us the answers. I have a dream that we are going to sequence every living thing on Earth. We are going to sequence everybody in the world. And the genomics, no doubt, is an opportunity for us all.
Of course, you should be able to clone humans because humans are not different from other mammals in that respect. And our society is not ready to accept artificially cloned people.
Remember the first time I see these embryos under my microscope, and then after 4 months, and these embryos, they are becoming the pigs. And I'm just thinking, oh, these pigs, they used to be the embryos under my microscope, and I made these embryos. I was so excited about that.
Why?
Oh, it is really like being a mom. Yes, this is a life that I created. It is by my hand.
Lots of people are creeped out by the idea of scientists making human-animal hybrids in the lab, but the government's ban on funding the research turned out to be short-lived. The National Institutes of Health plans to start funding hybrid research in early 2017, around a year and a half after saying scientists needed to slow down and consider the implications. So when it comes to mixing human and animal DNA, that genie is long out of the bottle. What the government has been stalling over is a step further, putting not just human DNA, but human stem cells into animals.
Received approval to create babies using the DNA from 3 parents.
Now, Britain's first 3-parent babies are on the horizon after Newcastle University was given the green light to carry out IVF using the DNA of 2 women.
There are also people who would say, look, you start changing
the genetic makeup of a kid by donating genes from somebody else, because these batteries have little genes in them. Aren't we starting down the road to designing kids taller, stronger, faster?
That's what gets me, is that you're in China. The government can know everything about you.
The government already know everything about me. Just if I'm not committing a crime, they don't give a shit.
Or you don't care.
Like the presumption, at least that I got before I came from Australia, you're sort of like moving into sort of like a militarized state kind of thing. Like things are gonna be really intense. But like you take a beer, you just like walk down the road, hang out in the park, fine.
Yeah.
Do that back in my hometown, Australia, like straight to the cop house.
Yeah.
Like,
but then play spike ball on the grass, and then all of a sudden, the cops come and stop you.
Well, you jaywalked and you had facial recognition.
The craziest thing, I actually got this. Yeah, so I was jaywalking in Nanshan, and all of a sudden I got a fine to my WeChat.
Was it instant?
It was about 20 seconds after, I guess. And I had money in my balance, it just went straight out. And this is just the most incredible thing. It just came straight out.
Didn't even authorize
it. And that was incredible.
That's crazy.
I is then very, very worried that they have your face in the facial recognition.
They have everyone's though. I mean, when you get across the border, they take that picture. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's all in the system. They know where you are.
Injia co-signed a loan for a friend who later skipped out. He paid his share, but the local court didn't care.
我前2天去淄博，赶上暑假没有票了，我就得买这个头等舱。结果是说你信用度不够，不能买头等舱。我回来没办法，不能还是没有座位，回来坐这个大巴。高铁不是4个小时就到了，大巴车得10个多小时。
4 million people have been blocked from buying high-speed train tickets over low social credit, and more than 11 million from buying flights. To raise his score, Zhang gets in line at a local community office to donate money the government says will go to charity.
捐100个居多哦。手写字吗？
我现在已经通过训写，通过捐款啊，通过做义工来给自己加分。
The system might have caused him to suffer, but Zhang is unwavering in his support for the government's push to score him.
这是通过这种制度来约束很多不自觉的人。
By 2020, China plans to track, rate, reward, and punish all of its citizens, essentially turning every personal experience into a transaction.
Do you believe that genetic augmentation is inevitable in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is where all of medicine is going. So remember, the first biohacking that we did to our body was things like immunizations and antibiotics. Now we have the opportunity to design our evolution and upgrade our body. I'm a human prototype for the future of health. Obviously, we're not quite there yet.
Part of that future, in your mind at least, is something known as the singularity.
Enhanced at the moment, but most people, if they leave their cell phone, they feel like they're incomplete. We'll connect our neocortex wirelessly to the cloud, just the way your cell phone does it. Most of the things you do with that do not take place in the phone. They connect to the cloud. The cloud is pure information technology. It is doubling in power every year as we speak. And so we will be a hybrid of biological thinking and non-biological thinking, which I believe has already started with these devices outside our body, and we'll become smarter. By 2045, we'll expand our intelligence 1 billion-fold. That's such a profound transformation that we borrow this metaphor from physics and call it a singular change in human history.
И что этот переход будет не только технологическим, технократическим, он будет связан с созданием новой метаэтики, новой культуры. хватит стареть, есть по старинке. Надо идти к более высокому состоянию. Надо менять свою жизнь в аспектах, в том числе и преодолевать.
So the latest research saying that a drug called metformin, which is used by diabetics, that actually increases the lifespan of mice by around 30 to 40%. And now they've proceeded to human trials. So the advancements in this sort of technology is advancing faster than a lot of people can keep up with.